Mountains. Mountains and music. In particular, music of the human voice. These are the sights and the sounds that give Wales its immediate national identity. But it's not all the eternal hills and the songs of our fathers, not by any means. Wales is full of surprises, old and new. There's a beautiful bridge for you. The new way into Wales. All strings and strength and swooping lines, strung elegantly above the River Severn. Somewhere here, high above the broad brown water of the river, you flash across a frontier. It's almost too easy. There's more feeling of a border crossing if you drive this way into Wales, over the fortified bridge at Monmouth, built by the Normans 700 years ago. From north to south, so many different routes into this very different country. Different ways of travelling once you get here too. Wales is rich in busy little mountain railways, preserved or restored relics of the 19th century when they carried workers up into the remote hills to quarry the slate or mine the lead. This particular one had more gracious origins, being built in 1896 to convey twittering parties of stately Victorian tourists up to the top of Mount Snowdon. It's been hissing and chuffing up there ever since. It's not exactly the fastest train in the world, but who wants speed with such massive magnificence to look at? Where there are mountains, there's always the wild white water, tumbling its wasteful way down to a sea that doesn't need it. Frivolous, but beautiful. Equally beautiful, though, in their ordered rhythms, are the working waters of Wales. High up in the empty mountain valleys of North and Mid Wales, tactful engineers have done a deal with nature to create dozens of pleasing man-made lakes that already look as old and as handsome as the mountains which reflect in their surfaces. The trout fishing's good too, and cheap. For the more ambitious sort of fishing, for salmon and the big sea trout, you have to go down to the natural waters, like the River Teifi that swirls down to Cardigan, decelerating slowly as it nears the sea. It's here they still use the little coracles for their fishing, built to a design that hasn't changed for a couple of thousand years or more. And why should it? How many boats could you use as an umbrella? From the shape of the country, you could imagine that Wales is doing its best to become an island. All round its three coasts, great fists and fingers of land reach out aggressively into the Irish Sea. This means an exceptionally long seaboard for the size of the country, and one that's coloured with sharp contrast and vivid variety. It means, too, generous opportunities for about every seaside activity you can think of, not only on and in the water, but also on the coastal land, which has innumerable beautifully situated sites for campers and caravanners. Many first-class golf courses, too, are handsomely landscaped between the mountains and the sea. If you like to check a local map and walk a little way, you'll find coves and beaches where the only footprints on the sea-smooth sand will be your own. The cautious steps of dreaming children on the seaside rocks might well be early preparation for the real thing, the slow, tense ballet of serious rock climbing. The brutal, broken cliffs of the mountains of Snowdonia provide some of the most tortuous climbing in Europe, testing enough to be chosen as the training ground for the British conquerors of Everest. This class of climbing is strictly for the experts, but for ordinary folk, there are invariably gentler approaches to the same impressive summits, up safe, well-trodden paths over mountain moorland and through the hill forests. You can, of course, do your mountaineering by car, for everywhere the roads go right up into the hills, wave after wave of rolling plateaus and breathless passes. Fun to drive on for a change. To get even deeper into the wildness of Wales, you could take to the saddle of an amiable horse. Most of the little mountain towns have pony trekking centres. Or you could walk the modern way with the help of your thumb. Two things that make Welsh pubs so different are the singing and the talk. The Welsh are a very articulate race. Jealous people might say we talk too much, but it's good talk, informed, impassioned, and wide-ranging. Go inside and join in. Even in the remoter corners, there's plenty of accommodation in Wales, from simple, welcoming pubs and guest houses to old country houses and coaching inns converted inside to luxury living standards. In the larger towns, of course, there are big new international hotels. The food's good, too, whether it's plain cooked by a farmer's wife used to satisfying avid outdoor appetites, or created with professional temperament by some genius of a chef. want to leap back a few hundred years, try a medieval banquet, regularly served with passionate regard to authenticity at two of Wales's ancient castles, Ruthin in the north and Caldicot in the south. With a great fat tallow candle flickering in front of you, a dagger for a knife and your fingers for a fork, you can eat like a medieval monarch. Eisteddfods are a mixture of festivals of the arts and country fairs and have been part of the social fabric of Wales since the days of the Druids. Big and small, national and international, they're each a microcosm of everything Welsh. The traditional crafts, the ceremony, the Welsh language, the poetry, the drama, and needless to say, the singing. St. David's is a little coastal village that happens to be a cathedral city. The Cathedral of St. David, patron saint of Wales, a place to which 2 pilgrimages were once worth 1 to Rome. Inside stands the tomb of St. David himself. Alongside, the ruins of the Bishop's Palace. But the most handsome ruins in all Wales are those of Tintern Abbey, standing in the deep green gorge of the Wye Valley. Here in the border country, the land is gentler, softly meadowed, thickly wooded, yet rich in ancient relics. The Welsh never went in for building castles. When the invaders came, the Romans, the Saxons, the Normans and the English, Welshmen just took to the hills, from where they conducted some very harassing guerrilla warfare. It was the interlopers who had to build the castles. About 92 of them still stand. These they built for their own protection against the marauding men from the mountains. Massive, the old outer walls enclose a great green park, which in midsummer becomes a theatre for the tunes and trappings of military glory. Enterprises like this are typical of the self-regenerating creative vigour of the Welsh. They're the contemporary foreground that draws on the past. But the background remains immutable and dominant. The waters that are the children of the mountains, and the mountains themselves.